Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Welcome to Flying Solo, the dating reality podcast. I'm your captain, Captain Aaron, and these are my co-hosts, all former contestants on ABC's The Bachelor.
Hello, I'm Lindsay, and I was on Ben Flanick's season of The Bachelor, and he gave me the boot because he did not like my saucy, English, naughty personality.
Hi, I'm Anne, and I was on Jason Mesnick's season of The Bachelor, the very first single dad ABC ever had, and I got the boot pretty early on because I did not play well with the producers, so I was a producer's boot night one.
And I'm Jesse, winner of Bachelorette Season 4 and retired pro snowboarder. And guess what? I didn't get the boot. I freaking won. It's so good to be back in the cockpit. Let's get this shit started.
For all you new listeners out there, Flying Solo is a dating reality podcast where we get to know local singles and match them up all live on the podcast. Each episode, we feature a single, blindfold them, bring in 3 matches, get to know them all. Then we have the wing ceremony where the featured single will decide which co-pilot they want to give their wings to and take out on a date. And remember, the lead single is blindfolded, so he'll have to pick his match based solely on their personality. Woohoo! So let's introduce today's single, Successful Steve, who is sincere, sporty, and speaks Spanish, and snowboards, plays the guitar, and his friends say that he is fun and outgoing. So Steve's another single referred to us by the beautiful Karen Monique, the Chief Love Officer at sparkoffline.com.
These names, I'll tell you, Successful Steve, Chief Love Officer, I feel like we gotta give me a better name.
We need to have Lindsay write us.
Successful
basically.
Steve is a first
Yes.
I've heard.
Holy smokes.
So tell us about Spark Offline and then introduce your sexy, successful Steve.
Spark Offline is the only matchmaking service that not only vets their clients, we vet our database as well. I talk to every single database person before they can match with anybody. I love Steve. Steve, do you know I love you? I love you so much.
I will say, when we did the
appreciate that.
video call the first time, he just is so sincere and kind and sweet. And you can tell he's good people. He's a good person with a good heart.
With a name like Successful Steve, I have very high expectations for today. I'm just saying.
Boy.
So tell us about yourself, Steve. What do you do?
Yeah, I own a body shop in Tempe, Arizona.
Whoa. What kind of body shop here, brother?
Automotive collision repair.
You have to be very descriptive in this room. People take things the wrong way.
High end. I do have to say it's a
Nothing too
high
exciting.
end body shop. It's not your average.
Yeah, we fix all the people out there driving Teslas. When they get in accidents, we tend to be the ones that fix them. We've built it over the last 8 years. We've 6x'd our production and revenue, so it's a very successful shop. I feel like I have
Successful
18
Steve's a numbers
children.
guy. I can tell you that right now. Dude's a numbers guy.
You are correct.
He is, yeah.
He just said 6X. I feel the numbers on the back of my neck going woo woo woo.
You're very insightful, Jesse. Yes, I am definitely a numbers guy. And I enjoy it. It's like having a big extended family. They're all like brothers, sisters, and kids. And I don't know, more often than not, I feel like kids, but it's a fun challenge and I enjoy it every day.
What's the craziest car you've fixed up? Like the nicest, craziest? What's the best one you've seen?
My brother's business partner, now deceased, very successful guy. And he had a crazy girlfriend that used to drive his Ferraris and Lamborghinis. And so we had a Ferrari that she had just sort of ran this thing ragged and
Wolf of Wall
hit
Street
all
did
the
it.
curbs. She hit all the
she
curbs.
was not respecting this beautiful vehicle like she ought to have. And so we went in there and made it beautiful again. But it was just, the car told a story. I'll just say that. It was
So you like to snowboard. Did you know Jesse here was a professional snowboarder?
You mentioned that to me. I'm envious.
Okay, so here's a
Jesse,
test.
man.
I ask everybody that tells me they like to snowboard this.
Yeah.
How do you snowboard?
Goofy
Okay.
and crazy.
And when you're on the mountain, what are you looking for when you're out there?
I love steeps. I love like double blacks. Sorry.
No, you're all good. Successful Steve's got a successful phone call right now. I like
There we
it.
go.
Where's your favorite ski area to go to?
I love Whistler. Telluride's my absolute favorite. I think Telluride's the best package of beautiful village, amazing mountain. It's just however great a person might be, that mountain will throw challenges at you. I've looked at stuff there where I'm like, that is beyond my level. I will not
Do you
touch
stay in the
that.
town or do you stay up in the village when you go there?
I prefer to stay in town, but it depends on who I go with. A lot of my friends are like, they like to do the village thing. They like to do it's their style of travel. They like to do the nerf, what I consider to be nerfed. travel.
So I'm going to let you guys in on a little ski area secret. When I ask this question, I'm looking for exactly what Steve gave me. Ski trips are planned on who you're going with. If you just tell me that you have a favorite ski area, you've clearly never had to plan a ski trip with just your buddies or with your family and friends, because they don't go together. Just like if you're going to go to dinner, right? Benihana would be fun for the kiddos. They like to see the fire, yada, 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 but maybe you wouldn't go to Benihana on a first date.
Ski Trip 101 from Jesse is going to be a part of the segment regularly.
Take it easy, Ann. Take it easy.
So you've done a lot of traveling. You've lived in Japan. You've lived in Switzerland. So talk about that. Very international.
I believe I really enjoy getting to know other people, other cultures, and like immersing myself in their culture. And I feel like you can't get that when you just spend 3 days in a city or even 5. If you have the opportunity, I know not everybody does, but I've been fortunate enough to have the opportunity to live an extended period of time in these places, and you really get to know how they live, what their environment's like, which kind of gives you insight into like their sort of like their psychology, how they think and how they approach life. And you take a little bit of all that with you as you come back home. And I feel blessed to have a lot of those influences that I've sort of taken the best and things I admire the most about other cultures and just, like kind of inserted them into my life and had the wonderful opportunity to have like had them, weaved into the tapestry of my life.
Do you feel like you work to live or live to work?
I definitely work to live, but I'm like everybody else. I can get caught up in the moment, and sometimes the demands, if you're the owner of the company, sometimes the demands are placed on you where you don't have a choice. Dude's like a
numbers guy. He's a numbers guy. He sees the numbers are down. Dude's going to freaking work to get the numbers up. I tell you that right now, by 3 minutes in the room with him.
And Jesse's your best wingman right now.
I love you, Jesse. Jesse, you're my boy. I appreciate it.
I'm just saying. I know I'm a guy's guy, and I can tell you right now, this dude's not messing around with his math.
So you do jiu-jitsu? That's like the new trend now, right? Everyone seems to be doing jiu-jitsu now.
I've been doing it since before it was trendy. I was in martial arts since I was a teenager. I was always attracted to that. And back when I started, jiu-jitsu was like the back page ad in a magazine. Nobody knew what it was. It was all about karate and kung fu and taekwondo and things like that. So that's, those are the kind of things that I was studying in boxing. And then the UFC came along and, it really opened up people's eyes to see there's a very effective martial art out there, and you could just see it in the lab, which is the cage, that this thing was very, very effective. And I just had a choice to make, like a lot of people back then, which is you can either hide your head and just keep doing what you're doing, bury your head, that is, or jump into it and say, I'm going to need to learn what these guys learn. And that's what I've done. So I really enjoy that.
Nice. And you play the guitar? How long have you been playing the guitar for?
Oh gosh, I've been learning to play guitar for like 8+ years. It's a super challenging pursuit. I love that about it. It's fun, but man, it's a long hill to climb. I'll say that.
You have like a guitar teacher?
I do.
You do?
Yeah. Joe DeLoro. He's if anybody wants to look him up and have lessons, he's a fantastic instructor.
Great. So before we introduce you to your co-pilots, tell us about what you're looking for in a woman.
I'm looking for a partner in crime, somebody that I can, have adventures with, somebody that, when the pressures of the day, you've sort of taken them on, somebody that you can sort of have a listening ear to share, like, here's what's going on, and have another perspective, somebody that I can respect and admire, and, maybe that my shortcomings, they feel, they're strong in those places, and somebody who I can help, kind of like prosper in life and have like a wonderful experience together. I mean, one of the main things I'm looking for is like shared experiences. I've had these amazing adventures in my life, but a lot of them I've done solo simply because friends didn't want to do it, or I didn't have a girlfriend that wanted to, or didn't have a girlfriend at the time. And I realized that those experiences, they're a little more two-dimensional, quite frankly, than the ones that I've had where I've had people that I care about that I've shared those experiences with. So I want to have somebody that will share those experiences.
Part of the problem when you're a successful guy like successful Steve here is you either have free time to do these experiences and no money, or you have all the money in the world to do these experiences and no free time. So this is, the struggle is real. It's a real deal.
Well, hopefully we can help you find your co-pilot today. So let's introduce you to your first match. Michelle, the classically trained pianist who obviously loves music, is outdoorsy and loves to travel as well.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
So tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm actually from Arizona, so I'm one of the few natives left in the state. So I grew up here. learned how to play piano since I was 7, so that's probably my biggest passion. For work, I am in human resources, so I'm a benefits manager. So I oversee the health and retirement programs for a large company. For fun, all sorts of things. I do love to travel, so I've gone to some pretty fun places recently too. I enjoy hiking.
You recently went to Jordan, right?
I did. I went to Jordan in March.
What made you decide to go to Jordan?
It was amazing. So honestly, it was not originally at the top of my list, but my parents had done a tour there in Jordan and Israel. And when I saw their pictures, and I didn't realize, but Petra was where Indiana Jones was filmed. So I thought that was really cool. So it became a bucket list item. And so I checked that off in March.
All right. So being a dad, first thing that comes to mind for me is security. Did you feel safe when you were over there?
I did. Yes. So I actually joined a tour. So I felt completely safe. The culture was so friendly. And Jordan, I think, is one of those places that's actually pretty westernized. All the locals spoke English. So it's something so they actually teach that to all the people that live there. So I thought that was really cool.
That's very cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you do on your day off?
Oh, it's never the same. So, lately, honestly, my time has been consumed by a new puppy that I got. So she's a 6-month-old German Shepherd. She's adorable, but she's a pain in the ass too.
Steve, do you like dogs?
I love dogs.
Oh,
Awesome. I love that. I'm putting her through some training right now. So I hired a trainer, need to get her leash trained because when she grows up, I don't need a 90-pound dog dragging me down the road.
Or pissing and shitting everywhere in the house.
Yes. Well, that was actually easy. She got potty training right away.
Really?
Yeah, like within a few days.
We need you to come to our house.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
And our children.
Speaking of potty training, so Steve, you really want kids, right? Like really badly?
I would love to have kids,
right?
yes.
You want kids as well?
I'm open to it.
Yeah.
I'm open to it. Yeah.
Steve, you don't have any kids?
I don't have any kids, no.
Holy
I would
smokes.
like
Hey,
to.
Steve, I got 3. Come over Friday. You can borrow them for the weekend. Let's talk Monday again.
Okay, let's see. Kids of my own, I should qualify that.
That's fair. That's fair.
So tell us a random fact about yourself that not many people know.
Ooh, that's hard because I'm such an open book.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of secrets. I'm actually really good at drawing. I don't think a lot of people know that, but when I was a little kid, I always used to draw. I was very creative, so I would write stories and illustrate them. And I won some art contests when I was a little kid.
Oh, wow.
I don't really draw much anymore, but it's probably like riding a bike.
Do you remember when we were kids, they had the things like in the back of cereal boxes and you would have to like draw the picture, send it in, and they would tell you if you were really good at drawing. Do you guys remember that? Nobody remembers that? Oh, that was the thing. You could like,
Silence.
yes, I know. I'm like, I would trace, I would actually put the paper on and trace it and send it in. And then they would contact us and be like, wow, your daughter is so talented. And I'd be like, look, Mom.
Anne makes me sit in a chair naked in the corner and draws me on the weekends.
Never have we done that. Never have we done that.
Do you have any questions for Michelle, Steve?
Yeah, so on your trip to Jordan, you said you were with a tour company. Did you find a way to like, I don't know, kind of break out of that ecosphere maybe that they had, where it's sort of within the confines of a tour? Were you able to like experience them?
Yes. So at the tour, there's set activities, usually in the morning, and we would be done by the early afternoon. So usually with the early afternoon and evening, it was free games. So you could go do whatever you want.
Do they have like local markets that you go in, you can buy things?
They did, yes.
Haggle over prices. Yeah.
I can see successful Steve wanting to roll dice with the locals over here. He's like, hey, can we get out of this group thing? This is a yawn fest. I want to roll dice with these dudes over here.
Yeah. I remember going to this street food place and they have this dessert. I forgot what it was called. I can't pronounce it, but it was a really amazing Jordanian dessert. So I was going there all the time to get daily. And it's like Mediterranean food, but way better than pita jungles.
That's a tough one to beat.
I have another question. Did you learn any words or phrases in, what would it be, Jordanian?
Oh, yes, but I forgot them, honestly. I don't remember.
Like hello, any words?
I don't remember.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And did you say you're going to Morocco soon?
I'm going to Morocco in April.
Good God.
My brother and my mother, that's their favorite place in the entire world. Morocco,
Really?
they've gone multiple times.
I am so excited.
Cool.
Great. So any other questions? Do you have any questions for Steve here?
Oh, I do. So communication is very important to me. So let's say we've been dating for a bit and maybe I do something that might upset you. How are you going to approach me about this situation?
Good question.
Yeah.
No pressure, Steve.
I agree with you 100%. I guess I would say I have something. Hey, do you mind if I talked with you about something? You can tell me now if now is a good time, and then I would let you know. Hey, so I've observed whatever that thing is, and I was wondering if maybe we could do it a different way, or what. It kind of depends on what it is that I guess that
You're shitting the bed is a real problem.
Yeah, maybe we could not do that. So first thing I'd want to find out is now, like probe to see if now I definitely want to talk about it, but I also know that sometimes that moment is not the moment to talk about it. So
are you not a knee-jerk reaction person? Like you like to take time and think on it before you approach an argument? Or do you kind of like react right away?
Or maybe on the way to Walmart to get adult diapers,
Yes, probably. That would be a more urgent situation, I would say, what you're talking about, Jesse. But no, I tend to like think about it. So I tend to be like, okay, let's just see if we can just kind of deal with it, I guess. Let's, if it's
toilet seat down, toilet paper. Yeah, I get it.
And then just say, some things are just worth just being like, oh, I'm just going to roll with it because I'm not going to ever arrange this perfect set of things around me if there even is such a thing that exists.
And some people are into that.
Just deal with it.
To each their own.
Oh my gosh.
But otherwise, yeah, if it's something that's going to consistently bother me, then I would. That's how I would approach that subject.
Jesse ruined a nice question. But hopefully you got your answer on that one. Did you have any other questions?
You made it funny though.
Yeah, you mentioned you're learning guitar. We could start a band.
Oh wow! Okay.
What would you call your band?
Music?
Oh, well, I don't want to jack your name, but Flying Solo.
Feel free to take the name.
What made you want to learn guitar?
I like to have different outlets, so I like to have like something that has like a just like a physical expression, something that's like a logical, mathematical, like Jesse's talking about expression. Just kind of like make sure that your rational mind is as strong as possible, but then also like something that has a creative outlet. And so these are just different facets of our minds and the way they work. And I like to try to like find ways to like improve in those different directions. And I really music resonates with me quite a bit. I really like 70s, like proto-punk and rock and roll punk, like high energy, in your face kind of stuff.
So you're an electric guitar person?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Les Paul. I love Johnny Thunders and the Heartbreakers, Social Distortion.
These are,
Dolls.
I've never heard of any of these.
Great bands.
Pull it together, Ann. Seriously?
I'm sorry, I just wanted to be honest.
So Michelle, maybe you tell me what kind of music you like. If we did have a band, what kind of music would we play?
Oh, well, a band, I like, I'm going through a 90s kick right now, and I feel like, because that's where I grew up in the 90s.
What kind of 90s? God, I just
Everything.
Did I just date myself?
The first thing that came to mind was East Coast hip hop.
I like it.
But
Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
All right.
I love the old school hip hop.
Do you know the lyrics to any of these Notorious B.I.G. songs?
Biggie, biggie, biggie.
I might know some, but I like alternative.
What kind of alternative?
Well, 90s alternative, like I don't know, Bush, Gin Blossoms.
Yeah.
I'm going way back.
Gin Blossoms, local band.
Yeah.
Weezer?
Yeah.
Weezer?
I do love
I
Weezer.
knew it.
Yes,
I knew I liked
I
it.
do love Weezer. And then, of course, being a teenager and in the NSYNC Backstreet Boys era, I do like
am
that
waiting
too.
for their tour. I'm waiting
Me
for the
too.
tour.
And take it easy.
I'm going to be first in line at that
Take
tour.
it easy, Ann. Take it easy. Wahlburgers was in town, and good God.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you.
Let's
Michelle.
meet Ash, an environmental scientist originally from a small Midwest town. And in her free time, she enjoys traveling, live music, and a good old-fashioned.
Ooh, welcome.
I love your dress. That is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I know I'm breaking the no white after Labor Day law.
Oh, that's
but
not a real.
That's what I do. I know,
Just about
right?
to say, thank God I didn't
Societal
get that
stuff
memo.
isn't even real.
So tell us about yourself. Where did you grow up? What do you do?
Yeah, so small Midwest town in Iowa on the Mississippi River, about 2.5 hours west of Chicago. I moved to Arizona in 2018, and then I started my career here as an environmental scientist, contracting for the government. Like I said, I like a good old fashioned. I like to, stay in at night too. pretty multifaceted in that way.
What's the best thing you've ever done in Arizona? Like most adventurous or fun thing or activity that you've loved?
Oh my goodness. I'm a big Sedona girl. I love going to Sedona. I love the outdoors. So, I mean, it's hard to beat Sedona. I feel like that's one of the most beautiful places in
Is it still a thing to actually go down a steamboat on the Mississippi River? Is that an actual thing?
100%.
Have you done it?
I have done it. Yes. Yes. I've done it back home in Iowa and down in New Orleans. It's so weird, like how similar New Orleans looks to a little Midwest Iowa town.
Steve, I'm curious, what's your favorite drink since we know that old fashioned's on the table over here?
I'm a big fan of bourbon, so I do like old fashions or just bourbon and
What's
soda.
your favorite bourbon? I just recently went to Kentucky, so I know all of five of them now.
Anne's a real bourbon enthusiast now.
You know, I never used to like bourbon, and then I went to Kentucky and did the tastings, and now I am obsessed with it. It's a bread pudding, old fashioned. It has like a chocolate bitters in it. It's absolutely
Everybody
delicious.
laughs about
So
Pennsylvania, but I'm telling you, you take a trip to Pennsylvania and the good old boys, you're going to come back with things to talk about. It's
Like
the
my
real deal.
5 bourbons that I now know.
Pappy Van Winkle, isn't that? I think I've had that one before.
Okay, that one went over my head. I only know like 5,
Yeah,
Steve.
I don't think I've had it more than once, but it was amazing. The higher end it goes, they do get pretty amazing.
So Ash, tell us, if your ideal first date, where would you go? What would you do?
Oh, that was going to be one of my questions for him.
Let's make it. Let's make it
Yes,
a question.
yeah.
Go ahead, Steve. You answer that.
No pressure.
Okay, so what was it if we went on
First
a first
date,
where
you're
would
planning
be?
it. What are you
boy.
doing?
Okay, this is like a Friday evening kind of thing.
Date night, bro.
all
Date
right,
night.
all
Go
right.
big or go home.
All right,
Or maybe
so
go big
it's-
and then go home.
I can't give you the boring answer. So I'm gonna have to
No.
come up with something.
starts
very-
with
Yeah,
old
but
fashioned.
we want realistic.
Yeah, let's go have cocktails at Ocean 44 to start off with,
That a boy.
Love Ocean 44.
and
Little seafood tower action.
yeah.
Are you a foodie, Steve? Do you love like to go out to eat? Is that
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I love trying new restaurants. I like to see like how they prepare the food, and I'm really big in ambiance too. I like to just see like how did they make the decor inside, and what's like everybody's trying to always do something new and different and spectacular. So I love doing that.
Favorite restaurant in Arizona? Because I'm a foodie too, and I want to know your favorite.
It's not very exciting, but I like Steak 44. I love Steak 44. I feel like
Steak 44 is good.
Love Steak
solid
44.
experience every time. So
Buck and Rider's my fave.
I know Jesse's looking for them to sponsor us
really?
because
I
we go
haven't
there.
tried there, man.
Wait, you've never been there?
Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
it's amazing.
Okay.
Bro.
I need to get out.
Okay, so I'm gonna plug Buck and Rider right now. So we started at there's like Camelback or something.
10 listeners out there.
Yeah. I'm just saying. So Buck and Rider is the ultimate. Like, if you're a seafood guy and you love, like, I'm a seafood tower guy. Like, I want a 6-story seafood tower with a donkey dick lobster tail on top. Like, the real
Jesse
deal.
is not a cheap date.
No, not a cheap date at all. But if you're into that sort of like, you want to feed your lady oysters and shit, Buck and Rider's the real deal, bro.
And that's how you can say it too.
Okay.
I'm going to feed you oysters and shit tonight. That'll really warm up her heart.
Well, they have a new location, right? North Scottsdale?
Yeah, right at Mayo and 101.
Where do you live, Steve? Do you live in the north?
I live in Mesa, close to work.
Okay.
Bought a starter home 8 years ago. and,
Where in Mesa? What crossroads? My parents. are
University in Dobson.
Oh, wow.
Do you see what he
He's
just
close
did
to
there?
my family.
Do you see what he just did there? He's like bought a starter home. I 3x'd my money, bitches.
Well, I want to buy a new one.
was a
I'm in the
subliminal
market.
flex.
I'm in the market now. Hopefully not, but yeah, I just won't touch today's market. I think-
Yeah, you're a smart man.
Yeah, I think some retraction needs to happen. But I'm looking at the next one I'd like to buy, either maybe Gilbert or Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, something like
Love it.
Do you have any questions for Ash? Ash, any more questions for Steve?
that. I did have a question. You threw me on the planning the
The
first date
donkey
one, so
dick of a lobster
Yeah, dude,
tail.
donkey dick
Burrito.
lobster tails will do that to you, bro. I'm serious. Blow your mind.
Steve,
Can't even think. He went to mush when he thought about that donkey dick lobster tail.
Steve, drums or
Yes.
flats?
drums or flats.
Oh, you got to elaborate. I don't even know what that means.
Wings,
I don't know.
right? You're talking about wings?
Yeah. Drums or flats? Which do you prefer?
Oh, I had literally no idea what you were talking about. I'm like, is this a musical thing?
I was thinking music too, and I'm like,
I still don't know what we're talking about.
When you order wings, you get the wings, the flat ones?
Yeah.
Or you get the drums?
Those aren't
I literally
wings. You
thought
got to have
drums were a
drumsticks.
type of heel
So
or something.
Yeah, same. That's what I thought.
What was his answer? What was your answer?
Flats.
Really?
What was your answer?
Flats too.
Oh!
Yeah.
Holy
So
smokes.
it's always good to have someone that likes the opposite. So when you get both, one person's the drums.
I'm a drumstick person. The other ones are terrible. You gotta like rip it apart.
Tell them all flats.
Good God.
That's a good question. I've never
Rooftop bar, drums or flats.
I had
I'm
a
learning.
question.
Get her,
So
get her.
You say you like to stay in some nights. So what is the last good book you read, and what did you like about it?
Oh, so I read a lot of like self-help books and things like that, things that I feel like will like really benefit me in the real world. And I'm very much like a realistic type person. So I read The Body Keeps the Score. It's about like trauma and things like that. So it's really good. It's like one of the best-selling. So yeah, it was really good.
Have you ever read any dating books?
I have not.
We had a person on here who said he would chalk up his relationships to reading some good relationship books.
Have you ever read 50 Shades of Grey?
I did not read the 50 Shades of Grey. I did not.
I can tell Ali back there has read 50 Shades of Grey.
Bunch of dirty, kinky, old ass women reading that shit.
When that came out, I literally didn't know what it was about, but I was a flight attendant and I saw everybody reading it. And so I'm like, well, I'll get it for my next flight. So I'm sitting on there walking down the aisles with this book, like in front of all the passengers holding my 50 Shades of Grey
Getting
book.
asked out by every guy in the aisle.
I was getting looks left and right, and then I sit down in the jump seat to read it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've just shown everybody this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And
one of those
sweating.
weird people. Like, I never watched Game of Thrones. Like, I think I tried it. I did not get into it. I did not get into like.
That's a real problem.
She was watching that, and I hear somebody, I don't know, being anally raped or something. At one point, I'm asleep, and I wake up, and I'm like, "What are you watching?"
He does pay attention really quickly to a movie whenever there's any noises that change.
Hey, when the lady goes woo woo woo, it draws my attention. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just gonna start playing that whenever I want you to listen. I'm gonna be like, just a quick soundtrack. And
Turn it up.
up.
He just peeks his head in.
That's right. Amazing. Well, thank you.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Thank
Do you have
you.
any other questions?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ash.
Thank you.
Now let's meet the extremely insanely educated Ali, who doesn't half-ass anything and who likes to bring out her inner child and who apparently has read 50 Shades of Grey. I saw your reaction. Woo! Tell us about yourself.
Well, hi, I'm Allie. I am a high school English teacher. I'm from Chicago, the Chicago suburbs, but everyone always says Chicago, even though it's not really where we're from.
I get it.
I'm a twin.
Oh, you are.
I'm a twin.
Identical?
Oh, gosh, no. She's got blonde hair, blue eyes, pale skin. Yeah, we look like we don't have the same parents.
Are your brains very similar, though? Do you guys?
No, and we've kind of swapped roles growing up. She was like very like empathetic and compassionate, and I was all about like boys and cheerleading and sports and just very different. And now, not that she's into sports or anything, but I'm definitely the more like empathetic one. I'm very compassionate. I do a lot of work on like inner healing and stuff, and that's just not her journey.
It's funny how the seasons of life change you.
Oh, 100%. It's crazy. It's crazy because we never seem to be at the same place. We kind of always are like teeter-tottering with each other. But it's also fun because it helps us grow and it helps our relationship because we're so different.
There's not like you guys aren't finishing each other's sentences. You're not so close that you're like that.
No, we are, which is
you are.
crazy. Yeah. I mean, there's so many instances in which things happen and we don't tell each other and we call each other and we just know. And there's been so many weird, like...
Give me one. Tell me one.
Okay, so back in high school, we had a class together, just one class only. They decided never again. And we were sitting at desks and my back was towards the door and she hadn't arrived yet. And everyone was like, Allie, where's Rachel? Where's Rachel? And I was like, I don't know, but I'll tell you when she gets here. 20 minutes into class or something, we're all working and I just look up and I go, she's here. And everyone turns and looks at the door and she walks in.
Wow, that's creepy. That's actually very creepy.
It was really creepy. And I don't even know what like made me say, oh, she's here. But I did it. And then the handle turns and in walks my sister.
I did that with Jesse too, but he's loud as shit. That's why I know when he gets home.
I don't even know what that means.
He immediately come in the door and I know you're there.
So you're a certified yoga instructor and a certified health coach. You have a master's in education.
Yeah.
So you like to learn.
Oh, I love to learn. I think that learning is the catalyst to life. I think that and I tell this to my students, if you go through every day trying to learn and be a better person than you were the day before, you're going to live a really good life.
You teach high school?
Oh, I love it.
Is it a little tough? You love high schoolers?
Oh, I love them.
Wow. That's like the first high school teacher I think I've ever heard say
I
that.
just read this thing the other day, like 2 high school teachers at the same high school just got fired because they both had OnlyFans pages.
I did see that also. They got to pay their bills. They don't make a lot of money as a teacher.
It's fair. The struggle is real.
We don't go into teaching for the money. We go into teaching because we hopefully love kids.
So what's your OnlyFans page?
I've thought about it. No, just kidding.
I think all of us have thought of a niche on there.
I've been trying to get Ann to let me sell her underwear on the internet for years and her socks because we could retire. All
You
those
could
sick
retire.
ass- for sure.
There's a market for that. People are into some weird things.
Did you hear that girl just died from selling her farts in a jar?
She died?
Literally died.
How?
From farting too much.
Oh my God.
Dead serious. Google it. You don't believe me? Google it.
Are you sure that wasn't like The Onion?
Maybe. I don't know.
Onion? What onion?
Oh, The Onion. It's like a satire news page.
Oh, I have no idea what that
You
is.
need to come back to freshman English where we teach our kids how to decipher what's real and what's fake.
That's fair.
Critical thinking.
That's fair.
Yeah, exactly.
So you like to read fantasy novels, is that right?
Oh, I love fantasy. And
What are your favorites?
Okay, so right
and me
now I'm currently reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. It's a series. This is my third time reading it.
Calm down, Ann. Calm down.
Literally my third time reading it. And I'm obsessed. So I am the kind of person who, I always have to have a book because I love reading. I love kind of like escaping our reality and, living through other characters and especially fantasy. But I'm also a big smut girl. So like the smuttier, the better.
Steve.
Sorry, not sorry.
Steve.
Yeah.
Did you mention what your favorite book was? Is it a smut book? Because you guys may have some things in common we were unaware of until just now.
Do men read smutty books? I thought that was just like a woman thing.
Oh, I send them pages. You want to know what turns me on? I'll show you.
And then send him a page from the book?
Oh, 100%.
That book is very graphic. I did not get warned when I started it.
Oh, no, that one's tame.
50 Shades?
No, this Court of Thorn and Roses.
Court of Thorn.
It's one of those that I started reading it, and then I was like sitting there, and then I started like tilting my book in because I'm like, oh my gosh! And then it's 5 pages later, and they
I call that
finally
like
finished
beginner
having sex.
smut. It's like
I
the
had no
beginner stuff.
idea.
Like you're just tipping your toes in. My students read it.
Hey, if you want to take my wife to dinner and teach her more about this, I'll pay for dinner. Just name the
Gladly.
Steve, do you read fantasy novels, or are you ever like what kind of books do you read?
favorite smut book and go.
Yeah, I don't. Unfortunately, that's a genre that I've yet to discover.
She
but,
can
Would you?
open
Would you read
up
a book
to
with
it.
me?
I would absolutely. I love to read. I was an English major, so yeah,
same.
I love to read. I like Hemingway and Jack London and stuff like that. Those
Oh,
are, like,
he's a
Hemingway's
classical dude.
My favorite. But I also like biographies. Military history is like one of my favorites. Just the adventures that are in there. I'm really looking forward to the Napoleon movie that's coming out the day after Thanksgiving. Like self-help type stuff too. Just like, how to get better. I believe in, always trying to make yourself better than you were yesterday. I think book reading's a superpower. I'm really big on it, and I have a hard time relating to people if they don't read books, honestly.
What do you nerd out on? Like, what's one thing that you could talk on for hours and just nerd out on and be like, this is my jam?
Quantum mechanics.
Okay, that one's over my head. Anything else?
I don't claim to understand it. Anything else? Game theory.
Okay.
I think game theory is incredibly interesting. There's layers of complexity to it. I'd love to understand fully Gödel's incompleteness theorem. I was a philosophy and English double major.
Steve, I'm going to give you a crayon. Can you draw this in caveman terms for the rest of us, please?
I was going to say, it's good that you and I are not going out on a date.
Robot need outside help. That's how I would write that out in crayon, Jesse.
Fair enough. I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
So you said something interesting when we were getting to know you. You have a fear of hiking? Like, what is your fear of hiking?
Okay, so I am terrified of heights, but also the sensation of falling. So I hate roller coasters. I'm the
Steve,
biggest
I'm
baby
sorry,
in the
but
world.
sex swings are out with this one, bro.
But I do have a question, Steve.
Yes.
So you are blindfolded, in
Yes.
case the listeners needed a reminder. Would you rather be blindfolded, or would you rather somebody else be blindfolded?
Ooh, I like this question.
I guess I would rather be blindfolded because I've done the other one. So
Got it. Cool.
We need to start bringing on more fantasy novel dating people.
It's always like the English teachers and, you know, the women that come off like really polite that are always.
That explains a lot.
Well, isn't the lady that wrote 50 Shades of Grey, like if you've ever seen her, doesn't look like what you would think she looks like with her crazy
They're always
sex story.
dirty old women. That's what I'm telling you. I'm going to
50
find a
Shades.
dirty old woman with a plane, Ann. This is why I'm telling you this.
Your plan is a go. Go ahead.
Saying.
Oh, Jesse.
50 Shades was actually started as fanfic for Twilight. So the fantasy realm is there. And then she was like, oh, I'm going to write this for women who need some fun times in their lives.
I love it.
But honestly, 50 Shades, terrible writing, terrible. It's not great, but it does its job. Like it has its purpose.
That's amazing.
Do you have any other questions for Steve?
Yeah, so you definitely want children, which is great. How many children do you want? How do you imagine your relationship with your children, the balance between work and life, and the relationship between your wife and your children, and how you fit into all of that?
Steve, real quick before you answer, just a tip, buddy, from a guy with 3 kids.
Yeah.
Children making is like pie eating. Super fun. Taking care of kids is like pie making. Not so much
Gotcha.
fun. You feel me?
I feel you,
got it?
man.
Okay.
I kind of figured.
Proceed.
Another Jesse 101.
Just saying.
2 to 3. I mean, I think at least 2. That way they have each other to like grow up with. I had a brother, and I can't imagine my childhood without a sibling. I was definitely better for it. And so my relationship with my kids is I would love to just pass on the things that I've learned, just sort of be there to listen to, what they're going through. I'm kind of getting some, I guess, maybe beginner's experience. I volunteer Tuesday mornings at Kyrene Middle School, this group called Boys to Men. We don't do any cool dances or anything like that. Sorry, not a boy band thing, but just getting to learn like how the power of listening, and letting young people, just talk about what's going on in their lives rather than trying to give them advice. That's one key thing I've learned there. So that's what I would bring that to, my relationship with my kids. And as a family, with a wife too, it's like, I want to share adventures. Like, I don't know, one of the books I read was Get in the Van, Henry Rollins. And he was the lead singer of Black Flag. And he talks about when he was a kid, his mom would take him on trips. Like she would go travel to Europe when he was like 4 or 5 years old and bring him with. And I've always thought like, people are like, oh, I can't travel right now. I have kids. And it's like, why not? I mean, if we have to bring an au pair or whatever, like bring the kids with, have those adventures early and let them, share this adventure of life. I'm really big in athletics. So like, I would really encourage the kids to get, I know not every kid's into that, but I believe that every kid should have some sort of physical outlet and preferably team sports because they learn a lot of like communication and leadership and, how to interact in those kind of settings and sometimes under duress. And some kind of creative outlet. I believe they should have that as well. So I would want to like have those things in place for the kids. And then, with the wife, I'll have adventures with the kids, but also make sure that we have date night. Okay, we're going to have probably one night a week and let's make time for each other where we can spend time and grow our relationship as well. We have that family relationship. We also have that husband-wife relationship.
Love it.
Love it.
I love that. I definitely love that. I think it's so important in a relationship, especially when there's children, to have husband and wife prioritize their relationship so that the kids can actually see what it takes to work on a relationship, but also be in a loving environment. And I am with you with the traveling. I tell people all the time, like, bring your kids with you. Help them experience the world, not through screens, but through experience. And I think that so many people, and I might get a lot of hate for this, but I think that so many people rely on like the education system to help teach kids when life itself is our education. Like that's how we should learn and interact with the world around us. And I think the more experiences that you can bring into the family are going to help kids be better humans and grow up to be the humans that we hopefully want them to turn into. But it also is going to help strengthen family bonds when you have those experiences together. So I love that.
I love it.
Love it. Any other questions?
I take it you want to have kids?
I do. Yeah. Okay. So I am very open. Lindsay and I were talking about that in our original call. I'm very open about what I want. And I do a lot of studying and learning about the things that I want, which I also I'm big on like manifestation and all of that. So I think that by learning about it, it brings it into my life. And I've spent the past 6 years studying about like birth and pregnancy and parenting and healthy relationships because I want to be prepared for my partner and that life. And I want to come in really grounded and rooted in the things that I want. And I feel like I'm there.
I didn't do any research on any of that, Jesse, before we got married.
This explains a lot.
That was my twin sister too. Like, we are so opposites. I was the person she was calling. So she has a 7-month-old baby girl who is like the light of my life. I'm obsessed with her. But she was calling me with all of her pregnancy and birth questions. And
I'm going to call you for all mine too. I'm going to call you for mine.
But it was also a challenge because my sister and I are very different, and how we would do things are very different. And so I had to put myself in the space where I wasn't giving unsolicited advice. And I was also just in a place where I maybe tucked away my thoughts and feelings on things and gave her information and just kind of let her take it as she wanted and pick and choose what worked with her, which is great.
Steve, it's almost go time, bro.
Are you ready for the wing ceremony? Do you know who you're going to offer your wings to?
Stick your hand out, bro.
Fly off with?
Stick your hand out.
All right.
So here's the wings. All right. Okay, so Lindsay's going to do a recap for you on the ladies to refresh your memory before you make your choice. And then we'll give you a second to post up with any last moment questions.
So we have Ash, the small Midwest town girl who loves her old fashioned, the environmental scientist. Then we have Michelle, the classically trained pianist who loves music, loves to travel, just went to Jordan's, going to Morocco. Then we have Ali, who loves the fantasy novels, the high school teacher. She's studied all about birth, is ready to have babies, ready to make babies. Now chicken, wah, wah.
But no sex wings. She's scared of heights.
Yeah, no sex wings allowed. Who's it going to be?
What do you think, Steve? You have any questions for the ladies, or you know what you need?
One last question. Does anybody have a problem with dogs, like particularly big dogs? Is okay with big dogs?
You have a couple of Great Danes or something?
I've got a giant 105-pound pit bull.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Zeus.
Oh, I love that.
He's an awesome dog, but he's a handful.
That's rad.
Okay.
Get him, Steve.
That's my only question. So it's super difficult. And man, this is a tough choice.
Oh, you've never dated 3 girls in 45 minutes blindfolded? Come on, bro.
This is a first. And I just want to say I feel very grateful for the opportunity. Thanks for having me on. And but I do have to make a decision.
Do it.
And so I will say I'm supposed to ask if you'll accept these wings. It was Ali, the high school teacher, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Will you accept?
Ali, will you accept her wings? His wings.
Yeah.
Unless you say
He can't see you.
Oh, no, I'll take. Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you.
Yay.
Love it. All right.
Okay, you
Allowed
can
to-
demask.
Oh wow.
The final reveal. So tune in next
my
week
gosh.
to check out our next set of singles who are looking to mingle. And if you want to be featured on the show or are interested in any contestants on the show, visit flyingsoloaz.com and follow us on social media, Flying Solo AZ. And if you're interested in Steve or any other singles from Spark Offline, go to sparkoffline.com. Thank you for flying with us. We are clear to land.
Bingo.